over here.
All right. Going live. Chat room, let us know when you can see and hear us.
Yep. I'll type that in as well.
Sorry for the squeaky chair.
That's okay.
All right, so Kenny's chair is squeaking. There's a picture of her drinking alcohol. I am out of alcohol and now drinking water.
Need to remember to press the mute button before I move.
All right. Let me check the live page.
Okay.
Since our chat room is not being responsive.
Or we don't have one of the two.
Right, exactly.
What happens? Let's
Chat
see.
room, why hast thou abandoned us? No.
It's fine, dear.
There's Sybil.
We have a chat room. We're good.
I see activity.
There we go. All right.
See a lot of little green dots, but a lot of them are playing games, so they're probably very
Yeah, I know,
distracted.
exactly. All right.
Playing all those games we can't play because we don't have the time.
Yep. All right. Signal 5x5. Oh, show not found, too. Hey, Gomez.
Yay, Gomez.
We have Sybil and Gomez. That's awesome.
Oh, and there's a third one.
Oh. Are we good to go? Mr. Recording, sir?
Give me just a second. Yeah, I mean, we're good to go, but let me just
That's a
beat
good
out the
point.
Okay.
Let me make sure I don't have anything that could beep or scream or whatever other fun noises. Silent. I have to silence my watch too because it's technical.
It's technical.
It's one of them newfangled iWatches.
Nice.
Well, it's old fangled by now.
Yeah, they have
nice,
the 2 out now. They're saying it's like water resistant up to 50 meters or something.
Yeah, it's tempted, but I don't go underwater all that often. So
Right?
All right, we're good.
Hey, Ted, do you know where Antibus can find the link to the show?
we can just copy paste.
I want to paste that in.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, grab from one of those.
Yeah, it's at the very header of the thing. It's the live page.
Antibus.
Awesome. All right, so.
Yeah.
Am I good? Going live in 5, 4, 3, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Check your calendar.
So many patch notes.
Mandatory fun. It's not just for Star Wars anymore.
The Secret World, Final Fantasy XIV, and Star Trek Online. Oh my.
And we have Dan Kinia and Anvil from New Braid.
All that and more coming up now.
Pet insert show theme here.
All right. Welcome to episode 272 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Acta Est gaming community. The Die has been podcast. This is Makala. And to my right is Mew Cow.
Greetings, gamers.
And to my left is Tetsemi. Really? You're going to wave?
I have a spreadsheet over here with something I'm supposed to say, but I can't find it at the moment. So
All right.
get back to me.
It's I think it actually is the spreadsheet that has your patch notes on that, everything you want to do before then, probably. All right. And this week we're joined by our very special guests, Dan Kenya and Anvil, who are here to talk to us about AIE's new braid in WoW. Welcome, ladies.
Hello. Hello, how are you?
All right. We're doing good. I'm doing good. How about you, darling?
I'm doing awesome.
Awesome. All right. So since this is a gaming community podcast, we're going to talk about what we've been doing in and out of game. Kenny, what have you been up to?
Oh, let's see. Last night I went to a concert, had a few drinks.
Mother.
Yeah. Other than that, working, gaming, just taking things a day at a time.
And what have you been gaming?
Well, WoW, I do New Braid. I've been playing Mass Effect Andromeda since yesterday. Been playing Deus Ex, Mankind Divided as well. So jumping around a bit.
Nice, nice. I know we discussed briefly about Tuesday if you were going to randomly call out of work so you could play Mass Effect Andromeda. I see you didn't succumb.
No, it was tempting, but I didn't cave.
Nice. So, Anvil, what have you been doing in and out of game?
For me, I've just been busy with work, of course, like everybody. And last night I helped lead New Braid since Kenny was at the concert, which we did really, really good on that. We did a full clear of Emerald Nightmare, so yay, New Braid.
Congrats, guys.
I know, it's awesome. And then basically I've just been working on my main and leveling up a new alt with Dankenya and Morn. So it's been lots of fun.
Wonderful. All right, Mr. Kitty Ears, what have you been up to?
Well, as mentioned earlier, I'm also playing Andromeda. I did not succumb to Andromeditis. It's kind of been. I've noticed it's been half and half of people falling sick to that sickness this week. But I'm about 3 planets in, so it's been very engaging, and that's pretty much been taking up most of my time. But the occasional bit of raid here and there, and I guess I don't know. I guess you guys weren't there, so I guess I'll talk about the FERT stuff.
Awesome. Yes, please.
We split off into some doing the LFR and some doing mythic raids. Not mythic raids, sorry, mythic dungeons. Ooh, that would be a big jump. We ended up helping SJ get a bit better geared. 2 legendaries dropped while we were in these mythic dungeons. Pretty impressive. And I want to say she jumped like 20, 30 eye levels because none of the stuff in there was like 4 leather workers and she was one of them. So we were basically just, and of course trinkets and rings, and we were just throwing everything at her. So that was a lot of fun. And of course we were rewarded with legendary. So you can't
right. So it was the good karma thing going on there.
Yes, definitely. And there's also don't forget everyone, it's still Mythic Dungeon weekend, so you get your bonus loot for doing 4 Mythic Dungeons. I don't know if it's mentioned later on. Is it? Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know, but that's a good reminder.
Yeah, so definitely jump in and get that done before the weekend is over. Other than that, just little bits of gaming here and there. Final Fantasy 14. I peeked into Secret World for a bit, but we'll talk about more of that later.
Awesome. All right, Ted, what have you been up to?
I have been leveling a paladin because that's what you do with them, apparently. That's my 4th tune now to 110. Having fun. Still, I find the paladin tank and the death knight tank, I hate I know Blizzard hates the term clunky, but there's downtime in between your rotation. I like to hit buttons, so I like the feel of the warrior tank and the druid tank better because there's always a button to hit to do something. Whereas with the paladin and the death knight, it's kind of like hit a button. Oh wait, everything's on cooldown. Wait for it to come off cooldown. Hit a button, and it just feels slower. Like there's less I can do, but. I'm going through the Paladin Hall storyline now. I have to finish my DK, get his last 3 companions, and the Paladin, and get. I think I've got 3 companions left to get for the Paladin as well. It involves going into dungeons, and I'm tired of dungeons right now. Thankfully, there's a new one coming out, so we'll talk about that coming up in the WoW notes. But what have you been up to, McCullough?
Awesome. Well, let's see. Not enough in game. I haven't got much gaming time in. Not much D&D time in either, which always makes me upset. Delay of game, it seems to be a thing right now. Getting ready for Phoenix Comic Con in a month, or about just around 2 months. So ironing excessively large amounts of fabric for headbands. I think I probably 30 yards this weekend.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we have a lot of new designs coming out. So kind of gearing up for that. Working a little too much as always, even though I did take some time off this week because the reason Tet was not at game at Raid Thursday night or Wednesday night, excuse me, was, well, we like hit a real life achievement at 20 years married on Wednesday.
Yep, we dinged 20 years.
So we actually went out for a lovely dinner. The dinner cost more than my wedding dress. My wedding dress was very inexpensive, but I saw the receipt. I'm like, yeah, that cost more than the rest I wore to our wedding. That's impressive. We had a great time. Hordling was out of town for last week. She did spring break in Mexico, which is not as bad as you think because it was at a condo with a friend's parents. So that searched for a Switch for her, which was fun. Finally found one Friday morning. Target people, just randomly check your targets. They might have them. And I've been doing geek-wise. I think that is it.
Awesome. Very cool.
We are going to get to talking to the lovely ladies of New Braid in just a few minutes. But first, let's go ahead and do this week's news.
AIE news.
News.
Alrighty. So, guess what, everybody? BlizzCon's been announced for this year. They also opened up hotel room blocks. So, if there's anything left, jump in there quick. They're going pretty quickly if they haven't already gone. They'd also announced ticket sales would be coming, not the coming Wednesday, but the one after that, April 5th, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific time, because that's the time they like. And if you don't make it to that one, which is going to sell out in about 10 seconds, they'll have another one Saturday morning, April 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Again, good luck with that. It's quite the challenge, a bit of a rating on the tickets. And then we are starting discussions on the guild hall for the 2017 BlizzCon. More information on specifics and how you can help will be coming soon. Also, looking for events in the games we play, make sure to check out the guild calendar on the wiki. And there will be a link there in the show notes.
And it's also linked, thanks to Kev, off the front page of AIE-guild.org on the very top bar. So thank you, Kev, for doing that.
Thank you, Kev.
All right, in WoW, buckle in, folks. We got patch notes. No, we're not going to go through all of them, but we are going to hit some of the highlights because patch 7.2 releases March 28th. That's this Tuesday. Since we're recording Sunday the 22nd, that's the 26th. Good Lord. Brain. All right, here we go. Screwing up the podcast. All right. MMO Champion has a good write-up on getting prepared for patch 7.2 with one whole day left if you don't include today. Get your artifact weapon to at least 35 traits, because once you've earned 35 traits in your artifact weapon, you'll be eligible for a new quest line to empower your weapon and unlock 4 new traits that aren't currently on your weapon that are coming with 7.2. Make sure you cap your artifact knowledge. Right now it caps at 25, and once 7.2 hits, it will cap at 50. And else, that seems like a huge insurmountable jump, but we'll see. Complete the Order Hall class campaign. I've got to do this on 2 characters. To continue with your Order Hall campaign in 7.2, you must have completed all currently available Order Hall quests. So I've got 2 characters to catch up to do that. And while you're doing that, make sure you're collecting 25,000 order resources for the new Order Hall upgrades. Your first upgrade at Tier 7 costs 10,000 order resources, and it takes just 1 day to research. The second tier, tier 8, costs 15,000 order resources, and research completion will take 5 days. You'll also need order resources for purchasing the new artifact knowledge ranks, which again now caps at 50. And you can earn the Broken Isles Pathfinder. Earn the Broken Isles Pathfinder Part 1 of the achievement. The first part to unlock flying. The second part is coming in patch 7.2, and you need both parts to unlock flying, and it unlocks for all your characters. So it'll make leveling and doing resource gathering and everything else much easier once you have flying on all your characters. Get your reputations to max for Exalted. For the Paragon, for each 10,000 reputation you earn past Exalted, you'll earn a supply reward similar to those of the daily emissary quests. Please note that your current rep tokens don't work for Paragon, so if you have them, sell them or use them. They just won't work for Paragon. They only get you to Exalted. Level your class all champions. All champions will now be able to reach legendary quality, which unlocks a third equipment slot, and their armor will go up to 900. It's currently 850. And again, just like the rep tokens, the armor tokens only go to 850, and then you'll need a new type of go to 900. So if you've been saving them up, free up some bank slots. And gather your crafting materials, because crafters, there are new BOE legendaries. And the recipes will be available on the vendors. I don't think there's a quest line to get them. I haven't looked into it too much because I'm already at the max I can wear, and the new ones don't look like they'll be replacing anything I've got anytime soon. But for alts and just selling on the auction house, probably good to look into if you are a crafter. And if you have excess gathered materials, sell them before flying is unlocked, because with flying, gathering becomes easier, supply increases, prices drop. Law of supply and demand, people. I'm sure if Caro's listening on your WoW Gold Money, what is it? Your Gold WoW Money, something like that. His podcast, sorry, Caro, for screwing that up. They probably covered this on this week's episode. Also, don't forget to level your battle pets and collect your transmog items in 7.2. There's going to be a nice new transmog UI as part of your collections tab, so you can see which pieces of which sets you're missing and where to go get them. Wowhead has a link. Blizzard gave a 7.2 video survival guide exclusive to IGN, and Wowhead has a link to it, and it's in the show notes. It's a good 3.5-4 minute video about some of the stuff that's coming. And this week there was also another developer Q&A with Ryan Schwader. He's a senior game designer, and he covered what's coming in 7.2, what their thoughts behind it, and what's going to happen going forward. Whew, I think I'm going to take a breath and pass it on to a galaxy far, far away.
And try to remember words, because they're hard, evidently. All right. In SOTOR news, this week, AIE SEMA, Max the Gray, and Astromech EPC 186 talk about how to level, sync, and bolster work in general, and why they're useful in SOTOR. They also touch on other games and community news for this week from SOTOR in general, and remind everybody that our casual, family-friendly, multi-game guild is always looking for new members. The officer channel on Jedi Covenant is /cjoinAIELFO, and more guild information is at aie-guild.info/SOTOR. Catch a live podcast and chat room on Tuesday nights around 10:30 Central at Twitch TV /New Overlords. Follow and subscribe on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, etc. to hear the podcast news and the other guild streams. Speaking of mandatory fun, were we speaking of that? Yes, we were. All right. You want to get involved in Mandatory Fun Night and don't know the schedule? We have you covered. It runs Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. March 28th and April 4th will be Impside, and April 9th will be Pubside. Hit the SOTOR channel in Discord with any questions. Wonderful and very helpful people, and you really do want to get involved in the fun, where participation is not mandatory, but the fun is.
Yes, mandatory fun. Yeah. Speaking of, everyone, go ahead and welcome Avoben back. He resumes the
Woohoo!
position of director for Final Fantasy XIV after his double LFL-induced hiatus.
They're really
Um,
cute Lalafels, though. They're adorable. They're totally worth
Yes.
it.
They are.
Yes, yes, and they've been nice enough to allow him enough time to come back to us and get involved.
Because they
Also-
want Dad to level their characters for them.
yeah, get them ready for the future. Also in
Yes.
that land, patch 3.56 is scheduled to release on Tuesday, March 28th. Geez, seems to be a lot going on that day. And will usher in the end of Heaven's Ward main scenario. This gives us a few months to finish things up before Stormblood starts in June. And just I'd like to say it still amazes me that this is the end of the expansion finally. Like they've been doing constant content this whole time, and now it's okay, here's the end. So it's like, wow. And then only a few months we're going to be seeing the new stuff.
Awesome.
Very cool. All right. And wait, I thought this was redacted. You sure this is good to say? We didn't redact the Secret World stuff? All right.
Oh, it was a lot longer before.
It got express written permission to release this information.
Gotcha. I see how it is.
Oh yeah, no, it had to go through several hoops. They okayed this press release.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Funcom has announced that they will be relaunching the Secret World soon. Interesting. Changes include the redesigned new player experience, major improvements to gameplay such as the combat system, the introduction of retention mechanics like daily rewards and quests, and adjustments to the business model, allowing free-to-play players to still play new story content.
Nice.
Expect things to begin around the end of March, early April. So hopefully we can finagle maybe some Secret World guys in April and see how it's going. We'll have to
That
talk to them.
sounds wonderful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't play much of it, but what I did play, I really enjoyed because that whole paranoia, Lovecraftian thing. Yeah, it's a good time. All right, Captain Sybil's Star Trek Online News Summary for the week ending in 3/26/2017. News at the Star Trek Online website has been sparse the last 2 weeks, but a couple of tidbits have been posted. Because I always give myself the hard words. The Zenkethi story arc continues. The new backstory has been posted to the STO website blog entitled What Rough Beast, continuing the mission of the Zenkethi to test their world-destroying weapon on small, defenseless, unknown races. Aww. Have the Zenkethi bitten off more than they can chew with this encounter with a world of pure energy beings? Gee. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, now I have that song going through my head. Thanks.
That's because we've been doing the techno thing at home. Find out the amazing details of this encounter of the latest sci-fi tale. And as always, Captain Sybil offers no spoilers. Starship collectors rejoice. The long-awaited Andromeda-class dreadnought is now available at the C-Store. Freshly refitted, repainted, and upgraded to T6 level, Federation ship collectors will now be the bliss of owning a favorite classic mainstay vessel. Visit the STO website for juicy specs and details. And don't forget, our fleet is always looking for contributions of material and personnel. As always, check out news, backstories, patch notes, forums, commentary, and other goodies at the Star Trek Online website, StarTrekOnline.com. Until next time, Captain Sybil's transmission, signing off.
Always some fun stuff in there.
Definitely.
Alrighty, and on to Guild War II news. The Guild is pleased to announce that they are stealing and instituting the AIE tradition of mandatory fun nights. They are
Yay!
scheduled for Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and as always, only the fun is mandatory.
All right, and with that, let's get back to Kinney and Anvil and talk about New Braid. First of all, ladies, thank you so much for coming on to talk to us tonight. We really appreciate it. New Braid is such a fun mainstay in the AIE tradition now, and can't wait to kind of dig into all of it. So, tell us about the purpose of New Braid for those that don't know. Kenny?
Well, the purpose of New Braid was to create an environment where people who either had never raided before or hadn't raided in a long time could come in and enjoy it with, you know, casual, safe, not a lot of pressure. And it also allowed people with more experience to bring in an alt that maybe they were interested in trying. Do you normally play tank and want to try heal? That type of thing. So that's what it was
Awesome.
designed around.
And
Great.
I really appreciate too that younger players have a safe place where they can dip their toes into the rating. We have minors in the room sometimes, and everyone is always great about keeping it PG-13 and having a lot of fun.
And Anvil, unfortunately, darling, you were roboting. Would you mind turning your mic on and off and saying that again? Because it was kind of robot-y. I apologize.
Yeah, and I can fix that in editing.
Yeah.
Okay, is this any better?
Pause for a little bit. Do me a favor. So up at the very top under your settings, change the mic to your webcam, save it, change it back to your headset mic, and then try it. Usually that resets Google Hangouts. It gets cranky. And we'll pause here for technical difficulties because, hey, guess what? McCall and I didn't robot for once.
Woohoo!
Okay, so is this doing better?
Perfect. Yes, ma'am.
You are set.
Yay! And so I really wanted to say that I appreciate that New Braid is also a really safe place for our younger people who are in the guild to come in and dip their toes into raiding. I know my son is 10 and he's been joining New Braid since he was 8. And so when we do have minors in the room, everyone is really great about keeping it PG-13 and having a really great time and allowing the kids to get in.
Hey, Anvil, what happens if they don't keep it PG-13? Isn't there a punishment for that?
There is. And
Actually,
maybe I
that's
should let-
actually Kenny.
yeah, maybe we
Kenny,
should
why
process
don't you
the
answer that question?
So if there are minors in the room and someone swears, they have to pay a fine
Kenny?
to the child. Usually, the fine started out as being 1,000 gold, and I proceeded to buy.
And then
the
you
child.
got broke.
Yeah, I bought all of his heirlooms basically. So they took pity on me and lowered the fine to 100 gold. So yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
it's bad when the raid leader is the one that is paying all the fines.
Yes,
It is.
Termaku is still sad about that.
I'm sure. I am sure. All right. So, guys, how did New Braid get started?
About 3 years or so ago, the original person who created New Braid Sparrow heard a lot of comments about people being scared to try raiding. They were worried that if they didn't perform well, they'd be letting people down or they would get ridiculed or yelled at. He decided to create a team with a specific focus of being for new people, being casual and friendly, and just a way to ease people into it.
Very much the part of the AIE way of life, too.
Exactly.
And the idea of it really caught on. I remember times when we would end up running 2 full raid groups through SOO at the same time because we had so many people wanting to come in. So, and people really appreciated that they could come in, try new specs, and be confident that no one was going to yell at them or about their performance or mention meters.
Perfect. Because, yeah, we definitely do need an environment like that. Raiding's scary. I mean, I know when I did raid, I raided with FERT, which literally is a family and friends raid group. I sleep next to the raid leader at night, for God's sakes. And I was screamed at, but I always felt like, oh my gosh, my performance isn't great. It's pretty bad for the team. Yes, I was sleeping with my raid leader. Anyways, so how did each of you guys get involved in New Braid?
Well, I started playing WoW in Pandaria. Pandaria was halfway over by the time I started. I had no idea what raiding was about, but I would hang out and mumble with a bunch of people. And one night, Sparrow, who was leading it, and several other people encouraged me to boost the tune that I was on so that I could participate in raiding Siege with them. I had like a level 60 something warlock at the time. I boosted her up and spent most of the fights the first night tanking the floor, but having a blast. During Draenor, life got a bit busy for Sparrow, and he was no longer able to lead the group, so he passed that over to me, and I've been doing it ever since, trying to keep it in the vein that he wanted it to be in.
And I
Awesome.
actually got involved with New Braid because of my husband. He was a tank and he wanted a pocket healer. And so he got me in and started. He wanted me to get into raiding as well, and I was terrified. I remember the first time I tried New Braid, I was in tears. I was literally bawling because people were
gosh.
dying. I was like,
Oh.
no, this can't happen. And afterwards, Sparrow and Fire, they stayed online and they talked with me and sort of gave me a pep talk, and I've been with it ever since. And this is family. So even when things get a little slow, or New Braid always keeps me coming back.
So I guess it does show the old adage of ladies, if your boyfriends or husbands want you to game with them, what it really means is they need a healer. I've never experienced it because I won't play a healer. Only times I've ever actually played healers in games, except for once I was tricked into it. So
Yeah,
I don't know. In our D&D campaign, you seem to take to it well, but you just cringe the whole time because you want to be the backstabbing thief.
that was the only time that I actually played a healer on purpose, darling. I was talked into it.
And I can never
Brother
convince.
decided to.
Yeah, I can never get Jen to do the healing. She's always DPSing, so.
Yeah.
Hey, throwing fire is awesome.
In her case, it was lots of undepth and hacking things with Axis.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
And I'm stuck with healing. I feel lost if I'm not healing now.
That's awesome, and I know I think it does take a very, very special personality to do it. We have some very, very dedicated healers that it's their thing, and it's a challenge to them to make sure that their tanks do not fall, and they're fabulous at it.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is actually we now have too many healers. So
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, in fact, we actually might get return of Ben the Mage being the mage.
Oh,
Who knows?
that life will return as it should.
Maybe, yeah.
That'd be great. All right, so what are both of your greatest achievements when it comes to New Braid?
So this is a little difficult for me to answer because there's so many great things this group has done. In game, the most recent one, I think, is about 3 Saturdays ago. New Braid did its first full clear of Emerald Nightmare on normal.
Impressive.
Yeah, we had managed to get through most of the bosses previously each night, but there'd be some hang-ups here, a boss that we struggled with. We just kept hitting the time barrier and couldn't get all the way through it. So we finally decided to do it, and when we focused, we managed to one-shot every boss in the raid and finish with 2 minutes left in our allotted raid time. And I was thrilled. I knew it could be done, but it was just nice to be able to focus and get through it. And yeah, that was fun. Personally,
That is
it's the biggest achievement so far, I think, for me with this is keeping New Braid going. I told him I would do my best to have it run and continue to be what it was until he was ready to step back in charge. And I think I'm doing okay with that. I try to keep it casual and fun and welcoming to everyone. And at the end of every Saturday night, I can say I've had a great time with a wonderful group of people, whether or not we've killed the bosses or wiped every fight.
Or if you owe Anvil's son a ton of gold.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And I think one of my favorite parts of New Braid is all of the connections that we've made. I've been here for 3 years now, running with New Braid, and it has spilled over into real life friendships. Getting together, meeting up. It's not just a group of people who get together once a week on Saturdays for a couple hours. It's spilled into much more than that. And I really appreciate that. And to me, I think that's the greatest achievement, is that sense of family. We have several people who always show up. We have newer people who come and go once they get comfortable with the raiding experience, but there's that core group that's always there, and I think to me that's the most important part.
It certainly is. A raid group's like family, and I know. But last year you were driving back from California, and I know you made a point to stop here to hang out with Kinney and Morn, and we happened to be able to tag along when they were not in New Braid to take you to our favorite restaurant. So
it was yummy.
Thank
you.
The fun, I think, with a close knit group is your lives kind of get intertwined, even if they're real life, quote unquote real lives or lives in game. So yeah, that is a very special feeling, and having a reason to come back to game.
Exactly.
All right, so ladies, favorite moments in game with New Braid.
I have a ton. One of which I didn't realize the significance of until much later. I tend to get lost in the world of WoW. I will go the wrong way. People say it's south, and I end up running north. I mean, I totally do that all the time. And I got lost in Siege of Orgrimmar frequently for that raid. I'd pass usually I was running toward where the Iron Juggernaut fight was, and I'd miss the entrance and the gate, and I'd be like halfway past it, And one of the very first nights I joined in, I got lost on the way to the Iron Juggernaut fight, and this toon named Elkarth came over to find me and lead me back into the group. And about 3 years later, I married him. So, and he still comes and finds me in game whenever I get lost and teases me about it, as everyone else does, because, yeah, my getting lost is a running joke. I mean, there are nights that the group has laughed so hard that I wasn't able to talk. There's nights that I've accidentally pulled the boss by running straight across the room, not realizing it was a proximity pull. Wiped the whole raid. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Lots of laughs, and there's nights when everything goes perfect and we clear the raid like we know what we're doing. So there's a ton of excellent moments.
Well, marriage thing, the wedding, official wedding is coming up, and I do know friends that are attending. I think quite a few are associated with New Braid.
Yep, there are.
You have to take a huge group picture.
There will be group pictures, I'm sure.
Good.
And for me, my favorite moment, I think there's too many of them. Each time we get together, there's something fun happening, whether we're laughing like crazy because we keep dying in fire, or because we just pulled something off with like one person left standing and we get the boss down right before the enrage timer hits. There's been too many to count. And even last night in New Braid, we got Il'gynoth down in just one trip inside the tree. We didn't have to do it a second time. So it was like, yay, we did this, and it's amazing.
Awesome. All right, so this question isn't in our show notes, but I want to ask you guys. So if somebody new level 110, if they want to get involved with New Braid, how do they do it?
So look at Guild Chat Saturday nights. We run Saturday at 11 p.m. server time. Anyone is welcome as long as you are a max level character. Eye level doesn't matter. The reason eye level doesn't matter is because it's not as performance based. We have enough people that can help bridge that gap if need be. We want you there to have fun and enjoy and learn.
Cardinal cough cough.
Yeah, Cardinal is one of our heavy damage dealers that helps with that. But yeah, just about a half hour before, so about 10:30 p.m. server time, I start making some announcements that we're forming up. Just let us know you want an invite and we'll pull you in. It's open to everybody in the guild.
And about 2 hours before that, the questions usually start, hey, is New Braid running tonight? Have invites gone out?
Oh, yeah.
Because that is the Saturday night, and WoW is you log in and I say 2 hours. It's probably like 4 hours beforehand. People are already talking about New Braid, and that's an amazing thing.
It really is.
Generally, we do run every Saturday night unless there's some specific reason we're taking a break. And I'll normally announce that in raid so people know. Or if something comes up that I forgot about, like the concert I went to last night, I will ask someone to cover for me. In this case, Anvil was nice enough to lead for me. So
thank you, Anvil.
We try to make
Absolutely.
sure it goes off every Saturday night unless there's some specific reason why it can't.
Awesome.
Usually during the holidays is if it's real close to Christmas or Thanksgiving, those are pretty much the times when we're not running.
Oh yeah, because people have lives, and
Yep.
it's AIE. So if people are around on Saturday night and New Braid's not running, I'm certain that there are groups forming up to do other things.
So when are you guys going to poke your toes in the Halls of Valor?
We might try it on. Well, that depends. We might try it on LFR before we try it on normal. Just
idea.
to
Probably a good idea.
just to be a little more comfortable with it, and that might be this Saturday. It'll depend upon who shows up and what the balance looks like, because that is a big factor. If we don't have enough of all roles, we might have to default to LFR anyway. It just depends.
Sure.
So.
Awesome.
And we did clear EN last night with about 15 minutes to spare on our raid time. So we're continuously getting faster and better at it. And I know a lot of people are interested in dipping their toes and trying some new things.
That's
How
awesome.
long-
Wonderful.
How long is your raid times?
A 2-hour slot.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes we'll go over a little bit if we got a tiny bit of a late start, or if we're so close to getting that boss down, we want one more pull at it. But usually we try to stick right to the 2 hours.
And we
Cool.
do take a short little break about halfway through for people to get up, to go get drinks, that sort of stuff.
And part of with it being as casual, like there's another raid team that runs Saturday nights, and some of their people like to join us, but they don't always get in until about 30 minutes after we start. So Warlock summons, we pull you in if you're a little bit late. We prefer to start on time, but it's casual. So, if you're not there exactly at 11 server, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly. All right. So heard it here first. New Braid is going to trials this Saturday. In the chat room, it's in print. It must be true.
No pressure.
I blame Nitric.
Exactly.
so do
Hashtag
I.
blame Nitric.
I blame him on a lot of things, though. He is one of our regulars.
Perhaps a few
Yes.
polls. All right. Well, I think that's about our show tonight. While our amazing chat room starts beginning to suggest show titles, I want to thank Dan Kinnia and Anvil for joining us. Guys, you're a delight. The show to talk about New Braid. We would love to have you.
Well, thank you.
My shout out is to Anvil and Dan Kenya of New Braid. We do have some other shout outs. SJ says, thank you to Fert for convincing her to raid, or at least letting her trail behind them to pick up loot, as discussed previously. Arv, really? Arv gives a shout out to your mom and them. Evidently, they'll know what he means. And Eludra gives a shout out to all of you guys for being so awesome. So, if people want to find you guys besides on Saturday saying, hey, come raid with us, how can they do so?
In my case, Twitter, for the most part, it's at Dan Kinnia.
And you can find me at Anvil_Ferrantu on Twitter as well.
Awesome.
Should probably
And
spell
is
that out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You want to spell it for me?
Kinnia
It is at ANWYL_FERANTU.
All right. And is the New Braid Twitter handle still going as well?
So I am not sure who owns that, actually.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Oh,
Probably.
and one other question. What do you guys use for voice communications for RAID? Is it AIE Discord, or do you guys use Mumble, or what do you use?
We've still been using Mumble, simply because it seemed to be the thing that most people would still have access to. We're talking about switching over to Discord. I'm going to have to play around with it and see what I think, because, change is difficult.
It's actually pretty user friendly. I use it
Yep.
we use it for our Thursday night D&D game, and it's really nice.
Yep, and there's plenty of us that can help you out with it if you have any questions.
It's not like you don't have officers on call to help.
That is true.
You know how to find Ted.
I know how to find you too. So
He's the technical. He does technical, not me. All right. So if you have questions or concerns about our show, email us. Oh, sorry, what? You're stealing Mew's lines. Hey,
Yeah.
Mew.
Hey.
Mew Cowie.
Yeah. So if you have a question or comment about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org, which I need to check if I'm actually getting those. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. I am at the Mew Cow with a K. Michaela, because I can never say your name right at the same time over and over, is at Cyberwife. Michaela. Yeah, I know how to say it, but for some reason, every time I say your name, I say it differently. It's just a weird brain thing.
It's fine.
You're at Cyberwaif, and Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, which I need to remember better. You can join the chat room and play.
Even.
Yeah, you can join the chat room and play along with us on our website. That is aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream, and our Discord server for chat at bit.ly/AIE Podcast Discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
And now it's time to play all of the great AIE member segments we received this week, including overly dramatic news from Hunts the Wind and alt-itis from our very own Mew Cow. Thank you, Mew.
Who's that?
Ooh. Some dude. I don't know. He has really great hair and cat ears. And the world's cutest toddler. Anyways, next time we'll be talking to, well, someone about something, because I'm still working on getting that scheduled. Guys, you want to come talk on the show? Come chat with us. So until then, AIE, this is Makala.
This is Mew Cow.
This is Tetsemi.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Yay!
Okay, so what do we have? Sybil's got raids are scary, not with AIE, and our goal, level 110 noobs. Top is new braids for all. I like that. That's like misunderstood
Misread or
lyrics. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for having us. It was really awesome. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming.
Oh, yeah.
thank you.
We're more than welcome to have you guys. Anytime you want to wander on and chat with us, we'd love it.
Yeah, it's and double billing, because not only was it one of our games, but it was about a community in one of our games. So it's doubly awesome.
Exactly.
Oh, it was awesome.
All right. Any more show titles, guys? We know you like new braids, Max. And I think you started that one.
He did.
Closing in 3, 2, 1.
Well, as the guest, you guys got to pick the show titles. So Sybil suggested raids are scary, not with AIE. Our goal, level 110 noobs, or White Top suggested new braids for all.
Andrews also said Kitty knows how to taste floors.
But I don't think that was a show title. I think that was
It
more
says
just a
dang,
No.
so he may have been an attempt at a show title. But I'm pretty
Slipping it
Kitty
in there.
didn't ixnay that one.
Yeah, that's my
My warlock
That's-
tanks the floor most nights.
hubby being a mess.
Your hubby. That's your hubby being your hubby.
Yeah. Kenny, what do you think?
I like new braids for all and our goal 11 level 110 noobs. I like both of them. I like all of them. It's a very difficult choice.
We can do
like
a
them all
combo.
too.
We can do our goal, new braids for all.
Or or our goal, new braids for 110 noobs.
Yeah, our goal.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
That
Level
works.
110 new braids for all. There we go. We have a
Yep.
combo.
Perfect.
Combo winners.
All right.
Woo.
Combo.
And thank you guys, chat room, so much for joining us.
Yep. And we'll be recording in 2 weeks. Again, we don't know with who, but it will definitely be interesting. So
I'm thinking Secret World needs to wander in.
I think that would be a good
Go
idea.
find the secret world guys and see how that's going.
Yeah, they've kind of flowed back into the woodworks and been hiding for a while. I haven't heard much
Yeah.
from them. They had their own podcast for a while, didn't they?
They did.
And then it got
So
quiet.
we'll have to find out what's going on with them. Maybe they'll restart some stuff up with the revamp. So
That'd be great.
Yeah.
all right, bye chat room. I'm gonna kill the video and audio. We will see you guys later. Thanks
Yep.
again for joining.
Bye.